That's great. Go the other way.
Don't be on him. Come on.
What? Hey, all come.
You.
Go.
You. He want to know what he looks like. He looks like you.
Out of here, man. Get your white face out of here. Your kind just shot you. Get your out of here.
You gonna do something tonight? Oh, you don't knock you out.
Hey, get the out of here.
See, Smith?
Get back, bro.
Yo, your kind, bro. You just shot this shit up.
Hello.
Hey, get the out of here, man.
That make him
Get
happy.
back. Leave him alone.
It ain't safe for no white people to be out here now. Go get you some donuts and get the out of here.
Leave this man alone. I just said leave this man alone.
Who
He
driving
needs
this
some
car?
help right now. They done shot somebody. Let him come here and help.
So kudos to the woman in the white hat, as she apparently had more courage to stand up against the mob than that white cop's fellow police officers. Because you see, once one person was able to get in the police officer's face over him being white, and there was zero resistance to that aggressive behavior, then the whole mob mentality kicks in, and then a group of people felt emboldened to say, the color of your skin is more important than finding justice for our community. But let's be clear, I don't think the disrespect of police officers necessarily has to do with color. It's just easier to pin it on the first prejudice that comes to mind than admit, I'm too immature to be civil when I'm emotional. Just look at this guy berating a cop over his height.
I'm sorry. I feel unsafe for anybody under 6 feet, and that guy right there is very short. And because the short guys got little man personalities like.
And I honestly don't think it has to do with height or color. Some people just think the rules don't apply to me, then will try to reverse rationalize their reasoning. Because if they saw the bigger picture, shouting, don't investigate shootings while the Atlanta Journal-Constitution just reported Atlanta homicides are up, and seeing reporting of kids getting involved,
there was some sort of shootout between two groups, leaving 2 teens dead and 3 other young people, including an 11-year-old, injured.
And with just a cursory glance at ATL Uncensored on Twitter, December 10th, a 14-year-old got hit. One day after, a 13-year-old got one to the head. And earlier that same day, a woman got hit on the road. Yeah, maybe Atlanta citizens should be less concerned about the color of cops investigating crimes and more concerned about how can I make sure me and my family aren't the next victims. Because I saw absolutely zero massive protests and outcry for those kids. But of course Atlanta has time for a Stop Cop City autonomous zone to protest police training. Never mind the fact that they recently arrested 5 of them for terrible acts, where one of them is not only an out-of-towner, but someone who grew up insanely rich next to former President Bush's homes. And we've seen this happen time and time again. These social justice movements somehow begin attracting well-off college-educated liberals to teach the lowly peasants how to fix their community. And when stuff gets worse, they can just fly off to the next community to fix, or just back home to their mansions. Because they've tried autonomous zones before. They never work. Atlanta especially should know, as their autonomous zone just last year had an 8-year-old lose their life. And that's not just a one-off. Seattle's Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone had 2 kids get hit, amongst other horrendous crimes. And again, lots of out-of-towners come into cosplay society chanting defund the police. Just look at how Democrat Stacey Abrams views law enforcement.
So no, I don't have 107 sheriffs who want to be able to take black people off the streets.
Although Abrams lost her run for governor, Atlanta seemed to vote heavily in favor of her message. Now, even though the limousine liberals will often campaign on dismantling the justice system, they mean just for the peasants. As we saw back in 2020, where defunding the police just meant the wealthy part of Atlanta was getting a $1.5 million private police force, just for the rich area. So although I don't like being confrontational about these subjects, the next time you hear someone preaching about abolishing law enforcement, simply ask them, what would you do if you got home and 6 masked men were tying up your family? Because you know what their answer is, they know what their answer is, because it's really hard to virtue signal when you are the victim. So if you appreciate knowing what's really going on in the world with my concise, no BS commentary, please subscribe to this channel, then check out my video about the rise of vigilante justice, because they're likely hiding it from you.